Welcome, at long last, to Ali P. Reynolds Stadium. A rain-delayed first pitch for the first game of this Easter weekend series between the Texas Longhorns and the Oklahoma State Cowboys. They put the tarp on the field about 5:30, mostly because of lightning. And now we're set to go in a game that begins with Oklahoma State a game and a half behind first place Baylor atop the Big 12. And welcome at last to Stillwater. Dave Barnett along with Pat Combs. This is a series where both teams really need to move up in the standings.
Yeah, no doubt, Dave. When you look at the standings of the Big 12, it's really jammed up at the top. You consider 7 teams, only 3 games separating those 7. So the winner of this series is going to create some noise.
Oklahoma State, the top power source of Big 12 home runs, and they are led by, this week, the Big 12 Player of the Week, Christian Funk.
Yeah, Christian Funk, and what a week he had last week. 8 for 17, 5 home runs, 3 of them last Friday against Kansas, and he has just been on fire. The senior third baseman from Fresno really coming around at just the right time for Josh Holliday's Cowboys. He had 4, University of Texas, Zach Zubia. You know, when Cody Clemens left Texas last year with his 24 home runs, David Pierce had to find somebody to replace him, so he turned to the redshirt sophomore, 6'4", 240-pound Zach Zubia, and he needs to heat up with the power for Texas. Only 4 home runs on the year, but needs to get it going here for the Longhorns.
6 of those 26 runs batted in last Saturday against Kansas State. Oklahoma State in its final year at Ali P. Reynolds Stadium. They're home since 1981. And David Pierce's lineup for the Longhorns. We'll begin with Duke Ellis, his center fielder, Mason Hibbler in short, Austin Todd batting third and right. Zubia, the DH, batting cleanup ahead of Ryan Reynolds, number 5, hitting 5th, playing the 5 spot. Ahead of left fielder Tate Shaw, Lance Ford at second. Sam Bertelsen gets the start at first. And Michael McCann behind the plate. And they will be facing 6'6", 231-pound junior from Coppell, Texas, Jensen Elliott.
Yeah, he brings the height for sure, and good arm angle with fastball, good tilt down in the zone, but, you know, went through a couple of changes, Barney. Had Tommy John surgery and has missed his entire sophomore year. Got healthy, got back into the starting rotation, was a Sunday starter as a freshman. Now the Friday night starter for Josh Holliday. Had a tremendous summer up in the Cape Cod League, really convinced Rob Walton, the pitching coach, that he was ready and back at 100%. And here he is tonight. He is the Friday night starter for the Cowboys. And a good 4-pitch mix. He'll have the fastball, slider, changeup, and a curveball.
Last Friday, the beneficiary of the Big 12 record 12 home run attack and 27 runs. Scored behind him in Lawrence, Kansas. Seifert, Boone, Cabness, the outfield with Funk. Andrew Navigado, Houston Morrill, Alex Garcia, the infield, and one of the best catchers in college baseball, Colin Simpson, behind the plate. Chris Koski will be calling balls and strikes. Mike Morris at first, Josh Sheffus at second, Matt Anderson at third. On an unseasonably cool night, once the rain blew through, it dropped to 57 degrees. The wind out of the north, 12 miles an hour. And Duke Ellis ready to step in and get us underway. Texas team has fallen below 500, 5-6, 7th in the Big 12. After dropping 2 of 3 to Kansas State last weekend. Bounce back Tuesday, a non-conference win at home over Lamar. First pitch from Jensen Elliott rides wide. Duke Ellis is a junior from Nacogdoches, Texas, where he played for his father Robert at Central Heights High School. And chops one over the mound, handled by Houston Morrill.
Yeah, nice play by Morrill coming across, and looks like Andrew Navigado gave way to him. He was coming from shortstop position, didn't interfere with the play, and Morrill makes a nice play and good footwork, throws across his body to retire Ellis.
Mason Hibbler, senior shortstop from Cypress, Texas, and a strike on the outside edge. He replaced David Hamilton, out for the season with a torn Achilles. Hibbler, who was slated to start at second, just moved one spot over and took over at short.
Yeah, a tough injury to David Hamilton, and of course a tremendous defensive shortstop, but also had become really a fixture at the top of David Pierce's lineup for Texas, and out for the season with that torn Achilles. Hibbler primarily was looked at as a second baseman, but has made a good move. Not a rangy type player, but makes all the solid, decent plays up the middle for Texas.
Versatility, played first, second, short, and left as a junior last year. And waits for the 1-2 pitch from Elliott. Just low 2-2. Austin Todd will be next. Texas at 24-15, having survived 21 games in 31 days in March against the likes of Stanford, LSU, Arkansas. One time the 8th toughest schedule in college baseball. It has fallen back a bit since then.
Yeah, Barn, that was an insane schedule. We asked David Pierce about it. He said, hey, we want to play the best. We've got to see where our team is. It was a good barometer to play against some great competition in March.
That is ripped, but will hook foul. And still 3-2 to Hibbler.
A 3-2 fastball up in the zone. That's what Texas wants to do, is get Jensen Elliott to get pitches up. And if you see the good arm side action, the sinking motion to that fastball, when it's down, it does sink. When it's up, it flattens out.
And after getting ahead, he issues the one-out walk to Mason Hibbler. High walk ratio. That's his 25th in 46 innings.
And a bit uncharacteristic of Jensen Elliott. When he was a freshman, he would just pound the strike zone, and kind of a stuffed pitcher. He relies on the movement of his pitches, not overpowering. The fastball will sit upper 80s, low 90s. He's got to be down in the zone. We saw him a couple of weeks ago, Barn, against West Virginia. Made a number of mistakes and just kind of split the plate with some fastballs, and his slider was up in the zone, and West Virginia took advantage of it, knocked him out in the third inning.
3 innings, 5 runs, 7 hits, walked 3, struck out 2 in an 11-1 loss. And he had the misfortune of going up against Alek Manoah.
Yeah, that's a tough matchup for any Big 12 opposing pitcher. Manoah has been the real deal this year. So far, tops in the Big 12. I think we'll see him drafted fairly high in the June draft. But that Mountaineer has tossed some gems.
Austin Todd, junior from Round Rock, Texas, tied for 5th in the Big 12 with those 33 runs batted in. Longhorn offense has come and gone this year. They are 7th in the conference, hitting .249 as a team, tied for last in power production with 18, and right back to the mound to start an inning-ending double play.
Well, nice job by Jensen to field his position well, and turns the easy double play off the bat of Austin Todd.
Cowboys coming to bat. Josh Holliday ready to send Houston Morrill to the plate to lead off the bottom of the first, and he'll be followed by the reigning Big 12 Player of the Week, Christian Funk. Colin Simpson will bat third. Andrew Navigato, the power-hitting shortstop. And Carson McCusker back in the lineup after missing the last 9 games, suffering from mono. Bryce Elder, sophomore from Decatur, Texas, 6'2", 220-pounder on the mound for the Longhorns.
Well, you see the stats there, and off to a good start, and had a tremendous start to his season. Only 1 earned run in his first 3 starts against Louisiana, Purdue, and LSU. But the sophomore right-hander from Decatur has been knocked around a little bit, Barn, last couple of starts against Baylor and Kansas State. So Bryce Elder looking to get back on track here for the Horns.
Yeah, those first 3 starts, 3 runs, only 1 earned in 20 2/3 innings. Late March, he was sharp against TCU and Xavier. 1 run in 14 innings, 13 strikeouts in that 2-game span. But last Friday against Kansas State, lost 6-4, 5 runs, 8 hits, and 6 2/3. And the Longhorns need him to get right. their series opening starter. 2-2 to Houston Morrill, a freshman from Live Oak, Florida.
Elder will feature a fastball. He'll sit upper 80s, low 90s with it. Can touch 93. And a good curveball, slider, change. Very similar type stuff to the Oklahoma State starter, Jensen Elliott. A little bit more power at times out of Elder. He likes to work fast. We like pitchers who like to work fast.
Always. You can never have too many fast-working pitchers.
That's right. That's right. Keeps the defense going.
2-2, and his last win was March 1st, 8-1 over LSU. He gets Morrill to reach. 53rd strikeout in 55 2/3 innings.
And a good slider down and away by Elder. He'll cut his fastball. That looks more like the traditional slider that he throws, and pretty good downward action with it.
So as Christian Funk settles in, we welcome a man who's being honored here tonight, former Cowboy coach, Hall of Famer, Gary Ward. Welcome, Coach.
Thanks, you guys. It's great to come back and watch baseball in April. Not the time the season ought to be starting for college baseball. And a good crowd, and so good memories.
You got to throw out the first pitch, and you see the resume here.
The retired number.
19 years, 7 consecutive College World Series in the 80s, 16 consecutive Big 8 championships. You owned the league.
Yeah, when we first came back here, I'd been in a junior college in Arizona. We won a couple of national titles and kind of got an idea of how to teach and develop players, but more importantly, get a full appreciation that players win championships. Coaches merely are able to captain the ship and create a culture where winning and championship play can grow within them to where they can take ownership. And so we just brought the blueprint here. Went out and tried to find the best young men we could, high character people who wanted to work, and they won the championships. I got to go along for the ride.
Coach, you obviously well known as a player that, or as a coach that could develop talent as a whole, but always well known as a great hitting instructor. And boy, that always showed with the Cowboy teams when you were here.
Painstakingly, hour after hour after hour, and I don't think people can learn in group settings. There's too much blame, shame, and judgment in the peer group. Peer group at 18, 19 years old don't have real good judgment or executive ability anyway.
Right.
And so when you isolate it down, you spend the extra hours. We would spend probably 20 hours a week individually with players where they weren't under the pressure of competition. In other words, we didn't give them the test until they'd read the test book. In pro ball, they give you the test before you have any information. Right. That's just, it's backwards.
No, it is. You're a great developer of talent.
Christian Funk balked to second base. And Elder still searching for the strike zone now against Colin Simpson. And 100 home runs from a Pete Incaviglia will help.
Yeah, pretty remarkable. And Pete did have a lot of development. He was a 10th round draft. Go ahead.
This is set to deep center field, and on the edge of the track, Duke Ellis tracks it down as Christian Funk advances to third with 2 outs.
I knew Inky's family. I'd recruited his older brother Tony as a transfer out of University of Arizona. Knew Pete. He got drafted in the 10th round. This is a year where the Giants' Bob Lurie was going broke, so we attacked his draft list. The second rounder was Barry Bonds. 5th rounder was Dennis Livingston. 10th rounder was Penny Vinto. We had them all, but we couldn't get Bonds in school because of our school wouldn't accept his PE grades.
Oh, my goodness.
His PE grades.
That's correct. That's correct.
But Arizona State would.
That's correct.
Oh, you can't make that up.
I think this may be breaking news, Pat.
Yeah, well, Oklahoma State's a special place.
Oh,
but,
man.
They hit me pretty deep with that one. But Pete was a raw, crude player who needed a lot of refinement, and had an assistant coach named Dave Holliday who did a ton of work with him.
That one gets past McCann, and trotting home with the game's first run is Christian Funk.
And so David probably did more. Once I get a guy into his goals program, and we're able to isolate that, and he's able to take some ownership, then we're okay, because then I can get him to his workstation. And everything to me in a baseball facility is a laboratory. If you're coming there for recreation, hey, son, you need to get a Greyhound bus ticket. Go someplace else. If you think this is a business, we want to develop professional athletes. We want to get good college degrees. We want to have the best of our abilities fulfilled during that time. I owe that to your dad and mom. I owe it to you.
Into shallow right field. Coming on to make the grab is Austin Todd. If you can hang around, we'd like to visit with you next half inning. Oklahoma State gets a run thanks to some wildness out of the gate by Elder. Top of the second as we continue to visit with former Oklahoma State coach, Hall of Famer Gary Ward. And Zach Zubia will lead off the Longhorn second, followed by Ryan Reynolds and Tate Shaw. Jensen Elliott working around a one-out walk in the first to Mason Hibbler, getting a double play back to the box off the bat of Austin Todd. So now Zubia, sophomore from Richmond, Texas, a freshman All-America last year and the first team All-Big 12 DH.
Well, Gary, I remember when you recruited me out of Houston.
Yes.
Came up for a visit.
I'm still mad about it.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but I have to tell you, the true story was Pete Cavilla talked me out of coming here. Well, he didn't exactly talk me out. I watched all those home runs flying out of here, and I thought, this is not a good pitcher's park.
I get it, yeah. It probably cost us an arm or two back in those days, as I recall. I know in dealing with this ballpark, as it sets typically of the Oklahoma area and Midwest, you get an awful lot of southwest winds here.
Zubia not able to hold up on strike three, and that first pitch with a balk before Coach recovered to finish the delivery. Now, Josh Holliday's got about 6 Tommy John survivors already on his staff. Were you going to be his 7th?
Yeah. The wife warned me, don't go out there and do something stupid and have another surgery. So
yeah.
I appreciate Kathy's involvement.
You had clear instructions from Kathy.
I absolutely got that straight.
Hey, Coach, when you win as many games as you do, you can come halfway towards the plate and flip that strike in there.
I think they're going to forgive me. I got a lot of friends here tonight.
So when you were recruiting Pat, you'd been burned by Barry Bonds not having the adequate PE grades.
Right.
So you lost him to Arizona State. Were Pat's PE grades up to stuff?
Yeah, well, he goes to this little tiny school down there that I didn't know anything about called Rice. And I guess their standards are pretty good from what I understand.
Reynolds retired on left by Noah Seifert for out number 2.
Ventura came out of California as well. I knew his high school basketball coach. My time out west at Yavapai Community College, we also were coaching basketball, so we got very closely involved with the Phoenix Suns, which gave us a lot of Western contacts that we used here at Oklahoma State.
Backdoor strike one to Tate Shaw.
A lot of good baseball players in California.
No, there is, Coach, and they still produce them. But, you went to so many World Series. Of course, it's tough to win there when you get there, right? I mean, it's just the ultimate in college baseball. And even back in the day when the bats were juiced, the balls were flying out of there. I mean, you had those teams built for College World Series.
Yeah, and they were built for Rosenblatt to a degree. But also, this is Stillwater, Oklahoma. All right, geographically, just from the standpoint of where we can recruit and who we can bring.
Right.
If we don't grow our own pitchers in the state, I mean, there are years where there's only 2 or 3 really good prospects in the state, and you're battling OU and Arkansas and Wichita State and everybody else for them. And so we just took a nationwide approach to it. We really like the Texas area because we love the mentality of the competitiveness of the people in Texas, and I trusted that. So we tried to battle that, but if we couldn't find what we needed, we'd go landscape it across the country as much as we possibly could.
Headed to foul ground, but playable for Christian Funk. And a 1-2-3 second inning turned in by Jensen Elliott. Oklahoma State honoring legends in this final year of Ali P. Reynolds Stadium. And the legend honored tonight, former coach Gary Ward visiting with us up here and wearing your own replica jersey.
Yeah, this is worth about $10. And if I sign it, it's probably worth about $5. So I can get one for you unsigned.
Carson McCusker's first at bat in 9 games was a short one. So you helped open the stadium. 1981, and that started a string of 16 straight Big 8 conference championships. Next year, the new facility opens over 8 Stadium. Any favorite memories of this place?
It's staggering. Well, I developed a really good personal relationship with the Super Chief, LAP Reynolds. I also had other donors. I had to be involved with the fundraising, so well over $500,000, and we built it for less than $3 million. We're talking about $60 million now. Okay, so that tells you where we were, and we started at the scratch.
That's impressive.
So we got it done, and Allie was key.
Trevor Boone with 10 home runs, second in the Big 12. He's one Josh Holliday kept in state from Tulsa.
Right. Got good power. Gets the ball out over the plate. He's got some good pop to right center field.
Yes, he does. We highlighted Christian Funk's 3 home runs last Friday against Kansas, but Boone did the same.
Yeah.
That's amazing. They just happened to use up a lot of those runs on Friday. Didn't save enough for Saturday and Sunday.
It's a weird game, isn't it, Pat?
It is.
You win by 20 and lose 2 one-run games, and it's just the whole thing changes. It's the beauty of our game.
It is.
3-1 pitch sent to deep right center field and gone.
Did we call that for you?
There is number 11 for Trevor Boone and a 2-0 Cowboy lead.
That is just pure muscle. Coach, you know this ballpark, it plays, that's the deepest part of the park out there in center field. And that ball goes into the tree in right center, and what a great swing by Trevor Boone.
Yeah, he really hit it well. It's with the wind was coming out of the north today, but you get some summer days where it's kind of it's a home run hitting ballpark. But at this time of the year when the humidity comes, this really plays very, very fairly. He hit the ball well.
And first ball hitting, Alex Garcia, deep and gone off the scoreboard with number 6 of the year, and it's 3-0.
Wow.
That's some pop.
No doubt. Well, a couple of pitches up in the zone, and they've been patient, Coach, waiting for those elevated pitches from Elder, and then back-to-back right here, and both pitches up out over the plate.
Well, I think it's a team that's been really struggling to get its identity, and some of the injuries early on and some new talent in it. But it's the best. It's got the best chance to both pitch and hit on a playoff level that I think I've seen for 3 or 4 years here. And I think that they have to grow up with the bats, become a little more disciplined, improve their strikeout walk ratio.
Right.
And there's enough power there they can beat anybody in any ballpark.
Cade Cabness takes ball 1. Bryce Elder had allowed 2 home runs all season, and now 2 on back-to-back pitches to Boone and Garcia. And 1-1 to Cabness.
Yeah, that'll hurt your feelings when it comes.
Yeah.
So Pete Incaviglia went straight to the majors,
Right.
to the Texas Rangers, and his legend was established in spring training when he literally hit a ball through the fence.
That's correct.
In Pompano Beach, Florida.
Yep.
Chopped up the middle. Flagged down by Hibbler. And the stretch by Bertelsen pulls him off the bag, and Cabness is safe.
Well, Pete was a remarkable teammate. He had great baseball personality. He came from a baseball family. He enjoyed it. He was great in the dugout. He had enough energy to share with his teammates. He was always picking somebody up. The thing that overlooked is that he worked every day for the hour plus. He was the hardest worker I ever around. Dave Holliday spent hour after hour with. I was exhausted. He'd go get another coach. So he replicated it into where it became an automatic response mechanism they could trust, which is what we're supposed to be able to do, but it takes the guy to do the work. He did it.
Shortening up the bunt is Noah Seifert. So if you had been able to get Barry Bonds into school, who would have bat third? Who would have been fourth in that lineup?
You don't know. You know, I may have had to run Bonds off. You know, never know. No, Barry would have been great here. He had a short stroke, and we had some connection with him and his family. I had Barry, his dad, had come in, and Bobby had come in and played golf in a couple of my fundraisers. When you're out there raising money, you meet a lot of people. And when you're trying to raise $1 million to get a stadium built, you meet a lot of people that have some influence. And we had a golf classic every year where you'd bring Quisenberger and Johnny Bench and whomever else, Steve Busby, all the guys you could bring in, and all the former pros here, Roy McMillan and Cal McClish. And so through that connection, you build a recruiting deal. This is a big.
With the runner going, that is dumped short left field. A base hit for Seifert. Around to third goes Cabnis.
So in the early days, guys, you build every phase of it.
Yep.
You build every phase of it, from the instructional to the recruiting to the financial aspect of it, to coordinating a staff, to building a facility. And that's the reason we had a labor of love here for 2 decades. And we lacked getting the national championship. It's about the only goal. But as Pat said earlier, you get to Omaha, you're going to have to beat Roger Clemens. You're going to have to beat Calvin Schiraldi. You're going to have to beat Billy Swift, Dave Fleming. You're going to have to beat Major League people. And sometimes pitching beats hitting, just every now and then.
Right.
And there's occasional that they get there with a liberal strike zone umpire. And a guy who had enough command like Tommy Glevin, he just carve you up.
Yep.
You get through the day at Rosenblatt, and you get beat 2-1 by some guy from Long Beach State. And he didn't throw anything in the middle of the plate for about 140 pitches. So that's the reality of it. We don't have any excuses or alibis. I love where we were, what we did, and who we did it with.
Well, Coach, one of the highest winning percentages ever in college baseball. And, I mean, you just built a dynasty here. I mean, you don't get to the World Series without doing a lot of right things, and you guys did a lot of right things.
Well, I miss it every day at 1 o'clock because I miss the work in the laboratory with the player. I don't miss any of the rest of it. I don't miss any motels, hotels, rental cars. I don't miss any of the recruiting of the fundraising. I miss the time with the players, and I still wish I could do that even today.
Yep. Well, another great Cowboy of all time, Robin Ventura, my teammate for a couple of seasons on the USA teams in 87, 88. Of course, won the Golden Soul with Robin, and well, what an incredible streak he had going that 1 year.
Great young man. He's a guy that couldn't run or throw. I knew his high school basketball coach from the affiliation with my basketball camps in northern Arizona, and so we had an open door to him. We found out that he's a guy of character who swung where the ball was. That's a pretty good recommendation.
That's pretty good.
So when he got here, he was a separator. He's on his way back, on his way down. He was an option field hitter. So he was good enough, even though he couldn't run or throw tool-wise, he wasn't a professional prospect. So we moved him from short to third, and he came out every day like Inky, and he worked on the bunt play, because this is the vulnerability. The arm's average, but it's accurate. You take the bunt play away as a professional, you're a left-hand hitting 3B. How many good ones are there? There's a guy named Brett was pretty good. But if I can get a left-hand hitting infielder, he adds a lot to my offense.
No doubt.
And then one day here, in 3 days' time, with a mirror, myself, a manager, and an hour BP, he started hitting balls over the slide tire across Duck Streak over here on houses.
Wow. Morrill, strikeout number 2 for Bryce Elder, and they've both been of Morrill. Waving at this one down to the dirt.
A good slider down in the zone by Elder, and that's been the 2 strikeouts were good sliders down. Just didn't recognize the pitch.
So now at 3-0, and with 2 outs, runners still on the corners. Here is Player of the Week Christian Funk, who walked in the first, balked the second, came home on a wild pitch. If you had the tools, the video, the computers, the analytics, everything today, what would be of most use to you?
Well, I think video is so precious. I can tell you something, but if I can show you a picture, your learning increases by 2 times. And without the picture, and then when you put it into movement. So I used a mirror, as I indicated, David, because I wanted instant feedback. That's my best camera is the mirror. When I have the mirror, the hitter can see it. Now, you're teaching either kinesthetically, auditorily, or visually. And in this case, I'm teaching visually in the mirror. I'm touching Ventura and saying you can't separate, you can't do this, get this here, and all of a sudden the ball started. And I go home and tell Kathy, I said, I just saw a major league hitter develop. If he's good enough defensively, Cozy, if he's good enough defensively, if he can run the bases, he's going to be a major league player.
Well, that he was. Pretty good one.
And isn't that the moment every coach, every educator lives for, is when the light comes on?
Yeah, exactly.
It's called the aha experience, where they know when Robin turned and looked at me, and I said, you like it, don't you? He says, wow, with a deep breath.
Yeah.
Said, I've never done that before. I said, well, we're going to do it forever. So 4 or 5 years later, I go to Comiskey. We're sneaking off into the cages, going back and redoing it. Now, what the last thing a hitter needs is somebody that's a hitting coach that somebody thinks is a guru. Because I got to give it to them, and I got to get in the shadows and shut up and let them own it. If I don't do that, then I become a bad coach. My ego gets in the way. And it's what we always thought about coaching. You coach your butt off, and then get back in the shadows and let the players win or lose baseball games. They will trust you forever. Delight to be with you guys.
Yeah.
I know we've screwed up your Hobart.
No, this has been tremendous.
You made our evening, sir.
Well, Phil Haig out to visit with Bryce Elder. And, Coach, during these visits to the mound, what were the things you really focused on when you were talking to your pitchers?
Stay in the moment. Stay in the process. Quit thinking ahead. Quit thinking about what the outcome's going to be. What I've done is of no value. What I'm going to do is no value. What I can do in the moment is the only thing of value.
Stay in the present.
Stay in the present, stay in the moment, stay in the pitch. So our entire philosophy was this is pitch by pitch. You have a few seconds to feel sorry for yourself, get your butt back in the dugout, and let's come together and own the next 20 seconds as a group. We need to feel your energy back.
Yep.
And I think you build a cohesiveness in a really, really hard-nosed club when you do that.
So he's saying don't worry about the tank in the box. Make your pitches.
That's right. It's a sophisticated game of catch. And a guy hits 2 fastballs way out of the ballpark. Your natural instinct is to hide the next 9 or be too fine, and that's abnormal. You're doing something out of your rhythm, right?
Well, Elder staying away from Colin Tank Simpson with the bases loaded.
No doubt. And Coach, I know when you talk about the video and showing players, the kind of the science behind the swing and on the mound as well. I had old pitching coach Johnny Padres. He would say, once you got it right, he would say, now, did you feel that? Did you feel that?
Yes.
Right? Lock it in.
It's an awareness thing. Dan Millman, a wonderful motivating speaker, is talking about awareness all the time. And that's what you say, not do you understand? You don't say anything. You say, do you feel it? Are you aware? Is there tension anywhere in your body that's creating that? Have you been aware of that before? Well, let's disown it or own it, and let's take this with us as a part of our luggage for the next trip.
Simpson looking for something to wail on here. 2-1.
Well, he did.
Trying to turn 3-0 into 7-0.
Right out of his shoes. Yeah, got the slider. That was a good pitch by Elder. That's been his most effective pitch so far.
Simpson got a grand slam last week to win on game 9-5. A weekend or so ago. He's got power all over the place.
Popped up. And Reynolds ranges over behind second base. Elder survives. Back-to-back home runs by Trevor Boone. And on the very next pitch, Alex Garcia, 3-0. Jacket weather, 56 degrees in Stillwater, Oklahoma. 3-0. And the Cowboys really have gotten the minimum number of runs out of what they've put together against Bryce Elder. 2 solo home runs. 1 score in the first on a wild pitch. Elder able to retire Colin Simpson. The base is loaded in the bottom of the second. And now bottom third of the order for Texas, beginning with Lance Ford.
It's the bottom third of the order for Oklahoma State. See what Texas can do, but Jensen Elliott making it awfully tough. He is really sharp tonight. Everything working.
Swing and the throw by Colin Simpson for the second strikeout for Jensen Elliott.
A good breaking ball down in the zone, and we talked about the 2 types of breaking balls that Elliott throws. This is more the curveball. You see the downward tilt. Well, some sharp break on it. Lance Ford not able to pick up the spin and strike him out, throw him out for Oklahoma State.
Sam Bertelsen at first base. 21st game, 10th start of the year, batting .237. What a treasure Gary Ward is. Appreciate him visiting with us the first couple innings.
He is a man of great wisdom, and you just tell the passion. He still wants to coach, you feel it.
Backhand pick by Garcia. 2 quick outs here in the third.
Yeah, good pick at first base by Garcia. So he flashes the power the inning before. That ball has some topspin on it. Had to really come get it. Nice play, nice backhand.
Now the number 9 hitter, the catcher, Michael McCann. Outside edge for a strike. McCann Sr. from Cedar Ridge. DJ Petrinsky out for the year, labrum surgery. McCann stepping in. He had 49 career starts entering this year. This is his 32nd start this season. And he himself missed 3 games, injured in March.
Jensen Elliott has got a feel for that slider tonight. Had a number of good pitches down with it.
Chopped over him and bobbled by Andrew Navigado, and the Longhorns have their second base runner.
Yeah, tough play over the head of Elliott. Typically, the ball has some spin on it. Navigado not able to field it cleanly. Yeah, kind of came up on him. He caught the edge of that grass and had time to get McCann had he fielded it, so should go down as an error.
Ruled as a hit. And the first allowed by Elliott. Somewhat surprising official scoring rule. Back to the top of the order, and Duke Ellis, who grounded to second to begin the game.
Yeah, that's not your hometown scoring right there. That's you know, keep the no-hitter intact.
I wonder if that might be reviewed between innings.
Yeah, I've already voted. You voted. We didn't. Obviously, they didn't like our opinion.
Ellis, as we said, played for his father, Robert, Central Heights High School. Robert, a member of the 2001 Diamondbacks World Series champs.
Duke Ellis is really a prototypical leadoff hitter. Sees a lot of pitches. Has tremendous plate discipline. Warren, you mentioned the 37 walks on the season. Nationally ranked, and he just doesn't swing at many bad pitches.
Another chopper, and Navigado takes care of this one. 3-0 Cowboys through 2.5. Saturday, it's an MLB doubleheader on FS1. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern as the Pirates host the Giants. And then Cody Bellinger and the Dodgers take on Christian Yelich and the Brewers. Catch it all on FS1 and the Fox Sports app.
About that move.
Game delayed 40 minutes because of weather, and it's cleared off in spectacular fashion. That moon hanging just beyond right field.
Beautiful.
As Bryce Elder settles in. Works against Andrew Navigado. Andrew followed by McCusker and Boone. Elder's got to be feeling like he's gotten second chance tonight after probably being one pitch away from having the rest of the night to enjoy that full moon.
A couple of nice breaking balls here by Elder, and that is a key for him. Get the off-speed over early. Makes that 93-mile-an-hour fastball a little harder.
Navigado, strikeout, victim number 3.
And when you're pitching, you just don't want your fastball to look like the moon.
Carson McCusker having missed 9 games out with mono, and insistent the last few games that he felt good enough to play. Doctors wouldn't clear him. Finally in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, that was a long sickness, and it's probably going to take him a few games to get the timing back. That's typically what hitters will tell you. It's one thing to take batting practice and see balls, off the pitching machine, but way different game situations.
Grounds out to Mason Hibbler for out number 2.
Just a slow roller off the bat of McCusker, and Nice pick here by Hibbler. Good footwork coming on that ball. Had to charge it pretty hard and make the clean transfer. Nicely done.
Now Trevor Boone, who hit his 11th home run of the year, which now ties him for the Big 12 home run lead.
And that home run was to just right of center, Barn, and that's a good sign when you see hitters hit opposite field home runs, because it tells you that their hands are staying behind the ball. They're seeing the ball long, and that swing stays in the zone a long time.
Big breaking ball that is 1-2. First 1-2-3 inning turned in by Bryce Elder. On to the fourth. It's 3-0 Oklahoma State in 39th and final season for Allie P. Reynolds Stadium. Who's Allie Reynolds? He's a native of Bethany, Oklahoma. Three-sport athlete here at Oklahoma State. He was Oklahoma A&M back in those days.
Yep.
And then on to the majors. Mason Hibbler shortens up. Hibbler, one of two Longhorn base runners in the first 3 innings off Jensen Elliott. Razor sharp tonight.
Well, nowadays, you wouldn't even consider an athlete playing even more than 2 sports at a college program. But back in the day, it's more Jackie Robinson.
Unless you were Kyler Murray.
Yeah, that's true. Although not basketball. Well, he might have played basketball in high school. But, yeah, very good football player. Pretty good baseball player.
First-round baseball talent. See how high a first-round football talent he is.
Yeah. How about stiffing the A's for the NFL, huh? Draft is coming up next weekend, right?
2-2 to Hibbler. 9th pick overall in the Major League Draft, based on skills he showed really in one season of baseball at OU.
Yeah, no doubt.
Parts of 2. That is ripped just foul.
Well, they saw a lot of him in high school as well. He was a tremendous high school baseball player, all-state. Just one of those guys you just knew could, at that point in his career, go either direction. See how football works out. I mean, the thing for him is if football doesn't work out, he could easily come back to baseball.
I don't think the NFL seriously considered him last year at his size until he forced the issue.
Yeah, no doubt.
By having, in some ways, as great an individual season as anybody's had, Oklahoma or anywhere else. And he measured 5'10", and that's good enough.
I think his cause has been helped by Russell Wilson, and you know Baker Mayfield's not the biggest guy in the world either. So these quarterbacks that can run and pass are now the premium.
Hibbler looks at one down the middle. 3rd strikeout for Elliott.
Yeah, Hibbler had done a good job of battling some pitches. Almost had the double down the line, and this pitch just freezes him. Really a fastball right down central. Split the plate, Hibbler just locked up.
Austin Todd, who ended the first, grounding into a 1-4-3 double play. This Jensen Elliott, very different than the one we saw 2 weeks ago against West Virginia, who lasted 3 innings, 5 runs, 7 hits, walked 3.
Well, the difference is Barnett, he's got a feel for that pitch tonight, that slider. And he's getting it over for strikes early in counts. Then he's pitching backwards, throwing more fastballs when he's ahead in counts, and really has tied up the Horn hitters tonight.
1-2. Last Friday, not particularly sharp, but when you get 27 runs and 12 home runs behind you, you don't have to be that sharp. Right. 6 innings, 6 runs, 5 were earned on 8 hits. He walked 5. And tonight has walked only 1, allowed 1 infield hit, which was ruled an infield hit. Looked more like an error on Navigado at short. 2-2 now to Todd.
Well, he's just competing better today. He's making better pitches, but he's He's also been more aggressive in the strike zone.
And back-to-back strikeouts. What was the most runs you ever had scored behind you?
Oh, behind me, gosh.
I'm not going to ask how many were scored off of you. What was
right.
that record?
Yeah, I never had that problem, but I want to say, I think in a game against University of Texas, my junior season, we beat Texas 15-3. It was the worst loss ever for a Cliff Gustafson-coached Longhorn team.
Okay, well, another 12 runs, and that would have matched the Cowboys in Lawrence last week.
Yeah, we only needed 2 touchdowns to win that game. Yeah, 27 runs in a especially in a conference game. I mean, that's just almost unheard of. Big 12 conference typically has pretty good pitching.
2-0 to Zubia, struck out his first trip. Texas for the season has totaled 18 home runs. The Cowboys hit 12 in that one game.
Yeah, that's just kind of crazy. It really is. Yeah, Boone had 3. Funk had 3.
Funk had the other 3,
Yep.
The other 3 home run game.
So how unusual is that? 2 players in the same lineup hit 3 in one game.
Well, even those Incaviglia teams and Ventura teams, Gary Ward was telling us about, didn't have a night like that. And Zubia takes all the way at 3-0. Third year in Austin, David Pierce, after 2 at Tulane, 3 at Sam Houston State. Chop toward the hole. Backhand pick by Navigado. And the stretch by Garcia at first base. 1, 2, 3 in the Longhorn fourth. Alex Garcia sees his second pitch from Bryce Elder. The first he deposited off the scoreboard in right field to make it 3-0. His 6th of the year, 14th run batted in.
Bryce Elder has made an adjustment, really throwing the off-speed pitches for strikes now, getting ahead of hitters, getting some swings on some pitches in the dirt. Good adjustment by Elder, but here's a look at that home run. That was a bomb.
On the previous pitch, Trevor Boone had left the yard, right center field. So 1-0 turned into 3-0. Since then, Elder has locked in and retired 5 in a row.
Yeah, really 3 of the last 4 with strikeouts. That's that pitch right there. The really big breaking ball he has. He has a tighter slider he'll throw to get ahead. It's that hammer with 2 strikes. He likes to use that as a strikeout pitch, and it's been effective here the last couple of innings.
5th strikeout. 3 out of the last 4. Here's Cade Cabnis. And that is an opposite field shot. Base hit number 5, and Cabnis is 2 for 2.
And Oklahoma State has scored their runs, Barn. It's been opposite field swings. Really staying behind pitches longer against Elder. It's been the formula has worked, and Cabnis gets right back to it.
1 out, 1 on. To the left fielder, Noah Seifert. Seifert singled his first trip, stole second. Sophomore from Lubbock, Texas. Also see some duty on the mound with the runner going.
Yeah, Josh Holliday dialed up a hit and run with the 1-0 count. Good count to run. Oklahoma State being aggressive with that 3-0 lead.
Seventh year. Josh Holliday, following legends like Gary Ward and his father Tom. It's made the NCAAs every year. Runner again going and fouled off Seifert.
Yeah, that hurt. Looked like it was right off the top of his foot. He's going to have a visit from the trainer here with the Cowboys, and Josh Holliday quickly out of the dugout as well. Yeah, no padding. Ooh, right on the ankle. That hurts even worse. And you see a lot of hitters using the leg guards. Seifert doesn't have one, but I'm willing to bet he'll have one on tomorrow. Hopefully he'll recover from that, but yeah, right off the top of the ankle. Man.
Boy, that is all bone. There's nothing to cushion that.
No meat. He's going to try to walk it off, and like I say, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make it back up into the box.
I wonder if I can find one that fits him.
Yeah.
Like immediately. Also see some duty on the mound with the runner going.
Yeah, Josh Holliday dialed up a hit and run with the 1-0 count. Good count to run. Oklahoma State being aggressive with that 3-0 lead.
Seventh year. Josh Holliday. Following legends like Gary Ward and his father Tom. It's made the NCAAs every year. Runner again going and fouled off Seifert.
Yeah, that hurt. Looked like it was right off the top of his foot. He's going to have a visit from the trainer here with the Cowboys, and Josh Holliday quickly out of the dugout as well. Yeah, no padding. Ooh, right on the ankle. That hurts even worse. And you see a lot of hitters using the leg guards. Seifert doesn't have one, but I'm willing to bet he'll have one on tomorrow. Hopefully he'll recover from that, but yeah, right off the top of the ankle. Man.
Boy, that is all bone. There's nothing to cushion that.
No meat. He's going to try to walk it off, and like I say, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make it back up into the box.
I wonder if I can find one that fits him.
Yeah.
Like immediately.
I'll save a few shin bones and ankles.
Yeah, apparently shake it off he will. Start of the day at 3:04. Also has seen action on the mound 3 times this year. Spot duty, totaling an inning and a third. Josh Holliday, as we said, 6 NCAAs, at least the regional every year, 2 super regionals, and the College World Series 3 years ago. The Cowboys' first since 1999. Big 12 tournament champions 2 years ago. It's brought him in first or second in the Big 12 regular season, all but one of his first 6 years. And second at 7-5, beginning play tonight, a game and a half behind first place Baylor.
Well, Josh Holliday has brought this Cowboy program back to prominence, and such a storied history as we talked about with Coach Gary Ward visiting with us tonight. And just the amazing run that the Cowboys had back when Ward was the head coach, and went through a couple of struggles. The Cowboys did really finding the right guy in the last 7 years. Josh has brought this program back.
4 of the last 5 outs for Elder on strikeouts. This was Friday in Lawrence. 1, 2, 3, on and on and on, until they had set a Big 12 record with 12 home runs in a 27-run explosion.
Yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, when you see a number that, like 12 home runs, it makes you think that can't be real.
Runners going, and that one hits Morrill. with Cavness already down at second base.
And that dotted Morrow right in the back. The pitch wasn't even close. It's a rib shot.
That is the 7th hit batter on the year by Elder.
The Texas pitching staff, they have a good opponents against batting average. Opponents only hitting .234 off of Longhorn pitching, but there is some wildness. It's been very unusual for the Texas pitching staff this year.
Christian Funk benefited from a little bit of Bryce Elder wildness. Actually, the only 2 walks he's issued have both put Funk on. But ahead here, no balls and 2 strikes. The 42nd hit batter.
Yep. To go along with the 160 walks. And they lead the Big 12 with 47 wild pitches.
A lot of youth on this staff. 7 freshmen. Elder, one of 5 sophomores.
And all 12 underclassmen have seen action out of the pitching staff here with Texas. So young staff still learning how to pitch.
16 starts by true freshmen. And still 4th in team ERA in the conference. 3.72. Tough to hit. Opponent average .234. 3rd best in the league.
Well, that's David Pierce building a pitching staff for the future. He knew last season was going to be a strong run with Clemens and Hamilton, some of the stars that were really a great lineup for Texas. Another strikeout for Elder.
That is 7 through 4 for Bryce Elder, keeping it 3-0. Bryce Elder has settled down, keeping it 3-0, but at some point Longhorns got to get something going against Jensen Elliott, who easily could be working on a no-hitter.
Yeah, that's a good line. Good start for him tonight, and 32 strikes out of 50 pitches so far.
Ryan Reynolds to be followed by Tate Shaw and Lance Ford here in the 5th. Reynolds flied to left his first trip. Junior from Sugar Land, Texas. Switch hitter, son of former Major League right-hander Shane. A 13-year Major Leaguer and an All-Star in 2000.
Good arm side run with that fastball. And when Elliott was a freshman, he was more of a sinker ball slider type pitcher. Pitching coach Rob Walton, when got Jensen Elliott back healthy from Tommy John surgery, said, hey, let's try lifting that arm angle up just a tad. See if we can get a little bit more movement down in the zone with that fastball. Use that 6'6" leverage. Let's change the angle on the breaking ball, get a little bit more depth on it. And he certainly has.
Reynolds just frozen. Strikeout number 5.
Well, that's the depth we're talking about. That ball breaks, it just snaps down hard. When Elliott was a freshman, that ball would break more across the plate. Look at the downward tilt on that breaking ball. And you're exactly right, Barn. Just froze Reynolds.
3 of the last 4 outs on strikeouts. Tate Shaw fouled out to end the 2nd.
Now, Rob Walton, the pitching coach for Oklahoma State, has done that with a number of pitchers. Remember back in 2015, Michael Freeman, who was a senior at the time, I think had all of 16 innings from his freshman to junior seasons. And Rob Walton went to work with Freeman, changed his arm angle, became the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year in 2015.
A complete transformation.
Yep.
It was hard to believe he was the same guy. Hard to believe this is the same Jensen Elliott of the last couple of outings.
Yeah, just getting back to his strengths. Pounding that strike zone, he typically has good command. We had not seen it for a couple of weekends, and now he's putting it back together, being more competitive in the zone.
Therefore, the pitch count manageable. Just 58 pitches through 4 1/3.
We often talk about a pitcher that is working as successfully as Elliott has so far, and only 5 of 14 first pitch strikes, though.
So the Longhorns get their third base runner, the second walk issued by Elliott. They have only gotten one ball out of the infield. That was Reynolds flying to left in the second.
Just total control and total dominance so far. And we're still going to lobby for that hit to come off the board, aren't we?
Lance Ford, who struck out on 3 pitches in the third. Ford, one of the 7 Longhorn freshmen from Kerrville, Texas. Longhorns not much for power, tied for last in the Big 12, 18 home runs. So they have to use their patience. They're second to Texas Tech in walks. 15th nationally coming in, now 206 on the year.
Yeah, that's likewise a David Pierce coach team. Very disciplined at the plate. Not afraid to play small ball.
With the runner going, fouled off.
Pretty good situational hitters as well, and Ford is that type of player. Just has a really good functional swing, understands the game. Good situational hitter. So 2-0. Pierce puts the hit and run on again, unsuccessfully. Longhorns doing anything they can right now to get runners moving and trying to put some pressure on that Cowboy defense.
Shaw with some speed. He's stolen 5 out of 6 this year.
We typically see Sean Allen coach at third base, Barn, and David Pierce in the box tonight. So Longhorns trying to switch some things up, maybe trying to help the offense. And David flashing the signs now.
Doesn't start the runner here. And it's 2-2.
What a job David Pierce has done. Just a short while at Texas, only his 3rd season, and last year brought Texas back to the top of the Big 12 in the regular season.
First College World Series since 2014 for the Longhorns. And like Josh Holliday, he's made the NCAA tournament every year as a head coach, all 7, including years at Tulane and Sam Houston State. If you include David Pierce's years as an assistant at Rice and Houston, 18 straight in at least the regional round.
Yeah, he's got a successful coaching staff with him as well. They followed him to 3 different spots now. Sam Houston, Tulane, and now to Texas. Sean Allen, Philip Miller, and Phil Haig. Pretty loyal staff.
Throw gets away from Alex Garcia, and Shaw will make second with 1 out.
Just a wild move to first, and Elliott pretty good control for this entire game, and really his first mistake. Now that jump move, you saw the footwork, and that toe never got quite pointed to first base. I often hear coaches tell right-handed pitchers, make sure that foot is pointed towards the bag when you throw. You're going to open up and leave it out there like he just did.
Looped into shallow left field, and coming on to make the running grab is Seifert. Shaw stays at second. 2 outs for Sam Bertelsen.
Well, David Pierce's brother-in-law, you might remember this name, Bart, Gary Kubiak, former quarterback at Texas A&M.
Denver Bronco.
Yep. Now he's with the Minnesota Vikings. Married Susan, his wife, is her brother Gary, and I know Gary's probably watching the game somewhere, and Had a chance to visit with him a few weeks back.
How did he fall on the Texas A&M Texas game in Austin a few weeks ago?
You know, I was told not to talk about that. I asked Gary, I said, hey, do you mind if we talk about you and David? He said, yeah, but don't mention who I'm rooting for in that game. I said, all right, I'll keep it quiet. Yeah, the Aggie faithful would not appreciate that.
Well, I think you just answered my question. Elliott starts Bertelsen with the back door. Sprayed foul, quickly 0-2. David Pierce this month his 100th win at Texas and his 300th career win. National Coach of the Year last year.
You just knew when David arrived in Austin it wouldn't take long. Tremendous recruiter as well.
One and two. Just lost Augie Garrido last year. But I think he would sit back and admire the way his successor has carried on the Longhorn baseball tradition.
No doubt. No doubt. And I thought David Pierce was a great pick. You know, he wasn't the big name pick that a lot of the Longhorn fans wanted to see. But if you've been around college baseball in Texas, you would quickly understand how great a coach David Pierce is, but even more so the depth of his relationships with high school coaches across the state. And I think that was something that the athletic director at the time made a great decision in terms of looking at not only what a great coach he is, but also those relationships and how well he could recruit in Austin.
Hoping for some offense here, and Ellie, again, this is way high. Only the third Longhorn base runner of the game. Tate Shaw down at second after a walk and an error on the pickoff throw by Elliott.
Only 65 pitches, but Elliott's starting to get a few pitches up in the zone.
Over for a look, Christian Funk. Still 2-2.
And fastball starting to elevate just a bit for Elliott. We talked about when he's throwing downhill, it's a nice sink and arm side run to the fastball, especially away from left-handers. And he will intentionally elevate. You'll see Colin Simpson flash that glove up high, usually only with 2 strikes or when he's trying to bury something up in the zone.
Strikeout number 6. Texas finally gets a man in scoring position. Shaw left at second. They are closing down LEP Reynolds Stadium this year. 39th season. Playing host to Oklahoma State baseball. And Colin Simpson showing bunt. Leading off the 5th. He has fly to center, pop to third. LEP has hosted 12 Cowboy teams that made it to Omaha. 19 conference champions, including those 16 consecutive, beginning with its first year, 1981, 16 straight Big 8 championships. 18 first-team All-Americas have played here. And the Cowboys have won better than 79% of their games. In 86-87, they won 54 consecutive here.
Amazing run. And the shift against Simpson. And for good reason.
Reaches up, chops it right to Sam Bertelsen. Allie Reynolds, known as Super Chief in his career with the Indians, mostly known as a Yankee, though, in their great run in the early to mid-50s. 6 World Series championships as he teamed at the top of that Yankee rotation with Vic Rashi, with Mantle and Berra providing the offense. Andrew Navigato 0 for 2, slide to right and strike out.
That's a nice career when you have to use both hands for your championship rings. From
Bethany, Oklahoma.
Yogi Berra ran out of fingers for his rings.
Listening to Gary Ward talk about his teaching method and trying to get a player to realize how something felt when it felt right.
Right.
When Yogi Berra went into coaching, and one of the greatest hitters of all time, so he's trying to help hitters. And he's trying to explain, put your hands here and your legs here. Down on strikes. 8 strikeouts. And so Yogi Berra finally just said, forget it. Do what I do. And he jumped in and demonstrated.
Just copy me. How about the breaking ball by Elder? That has been the difference the last 3 innings for Bryce Elder. That is a snapdragon breaking ball. And he is getting it over for strikes. Josh Holliday will use his offensive timeout, trying to slow this game down just a bit. Pretty quick inning. Jensen Elliott, his starter probably needs a little blow, and Josh will provide it.
Carson McCusker is grounded out twice. Out 9 games, but that .344 average stayed 4th in the Big 12. 5th with 3 triples, 3rd in slugging percentage. Played since March 31st at TCU. Back in the lineup tonight. Recovering from mononucleosis, and that breaking ball right over his helmet.
As we talked about earlier, Barney, it's going to take some time for McCusker to get the timing back. And it's the first live pitching he's seen on. You have scrimmage games, you have, where your own pitchers are throwing to you, but it's just not the same when the game starts. And the adrenaline takes over, and you really got to get back to timing balls up and just seeing pitches.
Boy, the adrenaline's taken over Bryce Elder. Working fast. Mowing him down since 4 straight Cowboys reached in the second. He barely survived the second. 2 homers and left the bases loaded. Getting Simpson to pop up. Got the feeling he was maybe working to his last hitter had he not retired, Colin Simpson.
Yeah, and I think you get to a point as a pitcher, and he's given up 10 earned runs his last 2 starts. And the 2 home runs here tonight, he just starts to get ticked off and throw the ball. That's what he's doing. He's competing better now.
2 more strikeouts. He's got 9 through 5. Fans had to wait 40 minutes for the first pitch. Some weather blew through, lightning delay. Oklahoma State with a run in the first. Back-to-back home runs by Boone and Garcia in the second, and nothing since then against either Elliott or Elder.
Well, the sweaters are back on.
Michael McCann has the only hit allowed by Jensen Elliott. Ruled a hit on a chopper just over him, bobbled by the charging Navigado. And McCann given an infield hit rather than Navigado being charged with an error. Otherwise, Elliott would be working on a no-hitter here in the 6th.
And I still can't believe you've never called a no-hitter.
I've never even seen one in person.
Well, we have lobbied as much as we can, I think.
Elliott behind the number 9 hitter, 3-0.
Well, McCann really coming on with his bat. A couple of big home runs last 2 weeks. We saw the 3-run homer against Texas A&M. Put the Horns back in it.
That turned 7-2 into 7-5. Aggies eventually won to 9-6. Front of a record crowd at Disch-Falk Field.
McCann also added a home run on Tuesday night, Texas's midweek game against Lamar.
Only other base runners, walks to Hibbler in the first, Shaw in the 5th. Barely staying alive. at 3-2. Harder hit than the base hit, but right at Christian Funk. The 1-1 pitch with 2 outs in the third. Over Elliott. Navigado charges, bobbles, but not charged with an error.
Yeah, that's an error all the way. I mean, McCann does not run well, so if you're taking into effect the batter's speed down first baseline, if Navigado fields that cleanly, it's an out.
And Duke Ellis does not go through with the bunt, according to Matt Anderson down at third.
Well, Duke Ellis has some really quick hands if that wasn't a strike. Sure looked like he left it out there.
Elliott fighting back from 3-0 down to retire McCann. 1-1 for the leadoff hitter Ellis, who is grounded to second to begin the game and into an inning-ending fielder's choice, with McCann aboard with that lone hit back into third. 1-2.
The Texas hitters a lot of pull-type swings and just can't do that against a pitcher like Elliott. You've got good breaking balls and you're throwing them over the plate. You really got to try to keep your hands in the zone longer, not pull off the ball. And a number of Texas hitters have done that tonight. Elliott's really just kind of abused that type of an approach with his off-speed pitches.
And he's gotten that backdoor call some tonight by Chris Koski, apparently a little low there. 2-2. High there. Second straight full count.
We'll see Elliott go back with the fastball here. That run he has on it. You see Ellis pull off the pitch. He just spots that fastball low and away. He gets the out.
Morrill, and the throw dug out by Alex Garcia.
Wow. That is a web gem. Great job by Morrill to get rid of it quickly. Did a better job by Alex Garcia to pick that ball. That's one of those in-between hops at first base. It's not a short hop. That's really a tough pick for a first baseman. And to keep his foot on the bag. That long stretch by Garcia, too. Just a great play all the way around, especially with Duke Ellis's speed.
2 gone. Mason Hibbler. And another stretch at first by Garcia. In a 3 ground out. 1, 2, 3, 6. Bottom of the 6th. Boone, Garcia, and Cabnis against Bryce Elder, who since the back-to-back home runs by Boone and Garcia back in the second, has been nigh on untouchable. The next 2 batters reached on singles. Cabnis and Seifert to load the bases. He walked Christian Funk, but then he got Colin Simpson to pop up, and since then hit Morrill in the 4th. Cabnis opposite field single also in the 4th, and a bunch of strikeouts, 9 through 5, which for Elder already equal his season high. He had 9 in his first outing, 8 innings against Louisiana back on February 15th.
Now, it's that breaking ball. It's really come around for him. He struck out 7 of the previous 11 hitters, mostly on that pitch right there.
That is unloaded to left field, and Trevor Boone goes deep again.
Well, that one hung, and Boone extended. Oh, what a charge Trevor Boone has had in his bat tonight. A couple of home runs, and he just keeps adding on to that home run total.
He is now on top of the Big 12 with 11 and 12 tonight.
Well, that time Elder hangs the breaking ball. It looked more like a get-me-over breaking ball. And wow, no doubter. Yeah, Boone started speeding up because he wasn't sure that ball was hitting such a line. And to get out of here really quick. into the netting in left field.
3 of the 4 runs on solo home runs, 2 by the junior from Tulsa. Slow roller, Hibbler charges. Easily retires Garcia.
Well, just watch how quickly it gets out of here. It just didn't get up very high. Drive variety. Is barreling the ball up.
That was Incaviglia-like.
That was Incaviglia. Yeah, he had some moonshots, but there was a lot of balls that Incaviglia would hit on the line, just get out of here quick.
Cabinet's 2 for 2.
Yeah, that's where you hit him too in Oklahoma State. The power alleys are not deep. 331 down the lines. The fence comes really straight across, and those alleys are where you see most of the home runs hit here.
Easy chop for Lance Ford. 2 outs in the 6th. Seifert singled and stole second in the 2nd. Struck out last time.
Yeah, 94th pitch for Elder. He struggled early on. Once he got past that 2nd inning, Barn, he has been lights out up until that home run by Boone. It could be the last inning regardless here for Bryce Elder. Great job of keeping the horns in the game, though, after he gave up the 3 runs in the first couple of innings. Really settled down and is now pitched into the 6th. That home run by Boone spoiled what was working on 4 perfect innings.
He's tied his career high with 9 strikeouts. But none here in the 6th. 3 straight groundouts after another Trevor Boone cowboy hat blast.
And there's the...
See, he won't even remember having been to Ali-P. Reynolds Stadium. All he'll know is O'Brate Stadium.
That's right. It could be a parking lot by the time he realizes.
Vincent Elliott takes his 1-hitter into the 7th and retires Austin Todd on 1 pitch. O'Brate Stadium, $75 million worth, will open next spring. And of course, state of the art, as this computerized rendition provided by the OSU Athletic Department indicates. Took some of the best qualities of some spring facilities, in particular those of the Rockies and Diamondbacks.
Wow, what a place that's going to be. Looks very similar to Arkansas's field, Baum Park. The 2 decks there, and the stands that wrap really pretty wide around the base paths. That's going to be a beautiful facility. And Josh Holliday talking about all the cutting edge technology that's going into that new stadium as well. So it'll really benefit the players.
That's the new standard. You got to have the indoor facility. You got to have all the video and computerized bells and whistles now. Big time college baseball.
Yeah, no doubt. College baseball has come a long way.
Well, it continues to mix heat and razor sharp breaking stuff. He's handled Zuby on a strikeout, grounder to short. Ahead of him here, 1-2. Looks at one down the middle. Strikeout number 7.
How about this fastball in the outside corner? And talk about great command that Jensen Elliott has shown. Watch him dot the fastball right in the middle of Colin Simpson's glove. And that was set up by the breaking pitches on the inside part of the plate. Zubia just gave up on that outside fastball.
Reynolds has flagged to left and also been caught looking. So Longhorns never seem like they have any sense of what's coming from Elliott tonight.
No, they're not, and they have not adjusted with their approach either. A lot of swings of really kind of pull-type swings. We talked about that. They've got to keep that bat in the zone longer, especially with a pitcher who's spotting up his off-speed pitches. Look at the mechanics, just nice and smooth. Looks up straight ahead to the plate. Well, he has had everything working tonight.
Just a little high, 1-2.
Coach Ward says he is feeling it.
He's feeling it and dealing it.
Yes.
7 in a row retired.
Take there by Reynolds. It's the pitch that Elliott has stacked up some strikeouts tonight. That bigger breaking ball, more of the curveball variety, down in the zone.
12 of the last 13 set down.
That's the kind of approach we're talking about. Even though Reynolds fouled that ball off, you saw how late he waited to swing, trying to shoot that ball to left field. The arm side movement of the fastball. Watch how much this ball runs away from Reynolds. It's okay to be late with 2 strikes. You don't ever want to be early.
One of the better hit balls of the night. One of the few that have made it to the outfield to Trevor Boone, but another 1-2-3 inning. Bottom of the 7th, game delayed 40 minutes by rain and lightning, and once the weather blew through, it cooled things down. 52 degrees in Stillwater tonight, headed down to the mid-40s. As the top of the order to face Bryce Elder, still in there, headed toward 100 pitches.
Well, it's a great effort by Elder. As we talked about the 3 runs he gave up first couple of innings, and he came back, settled down, has kept the Horns in the game. Making some better pitches here, and pretty good effort, especially from a Friday night start. You don't want to go to the bullpen early. You could take the juice out of your bullpen for the rest of the weekend, and Elder with a really good effort to stay in this game as long as he has.
He's allowed only 6 hits, but 4 in the second, including the back-to-back home runs by Boone, and the Boone home run in the 6th. Cabinet's 2 singles. Seifert a single. And a new career high 10 strikeouts. 3rd time he's gotten more. The 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup kicks off in just 50 days, and all eyes will be on Alex Morgan, Carly Lloyd, and the U.S. national team as they head to France looking to win an historic 4th World Cup. All matches will be live on Fox and FS1. Christian Funk, the reigning Big 12 Player of the Week, walked twice, and last time up he struck out. Lays down a good bunt here. Elder's pass to Bertelsen, skips through him. Backed up to keep Funk at first base.
It was a pretty good bunt there by Funk, and they had the shift on. Texas's defense did. Took Ryan Reynolds, moved him over towards second base into the gap there, and you saw Funk really trying to push the bunt more towards the third baseline. Elder a little slow getting to the ball, and looks like he didn't have a really good grip on it. Funk made the big turn at first base, and looked like there could have been a play on him. A couple of players backing up. Michael McCann, the catcher, was back there, as well as Lance Ford, the second baseman.
Bertelsen not able to make the pick, and it goes as an error. Each team with an error now. On the throw by Elder. Simpson 0 for 3.
Elder's done a good job against Simpson tonight, and of course they call him the tank here at Oklahoma State. and a tremendous career as a home run hitter.
Ford able to get Funk at second. Simpson reaches with 2 outs for Navigado.
Good off-speed pitcher by Elder. Looked like the straight change that time, and a couple of good change-ups to Simpson.
This may end up being another career high for Bryce Elder. Number of pitches. Number 104 misses wide. He threw 108 March 22nd against TCU. A stellar outing. 1 run on 5 hits in 8 innings. In a game, the Longhorns lost 3-2. 4 straight no decisions. Last win March 1st, 8-1 over LSU. Only 4 decisions in his first 9 starts. That one gets through McCann. Simpson trots down to scoring position.
Well, second wild pitch of the night by Elder, and adding to the league leading total for the Horns. They've got the 49th for their staff. Breaking ball down. McCann didn't adjust to that. You saw him try to backhand that ball instead of squaring his body up to block it. And a ball that's in the dirt, but you hope the catcher can get over there and smother it.
Three and 1. Only walks he's issued, both to Funk. Also hit Morrill with the pitch back in the 4th. 3 and 2.
Good 3-1 breaking ball there by Elder, and you saw the swing by Navigado, and not trying to hit a single.
That one stroked into shallow left field and will bring home Simpson for a 5-0 Cowboy lead.
A nice adjustment by Andrew Navigado. You saw the 3-1 breaking ball. He swung wildly, pulled off of it. This time he stays on it, cuts his swing down, and stays right behind that ball. Kept his head right down through the swing. Nice adjustment. The Elder came right back with the breaking pitch, and he thought, hey, if he's going to swing out of his shoes on the 3-1 breaking ball, I'm going to throw it again.
Out comes David Pierce after a career high equaling 108 pitches, career high 10 strikeouts. Mason Bryant makes his way in. Bryce Elder goes 6 2/3 innings. Strikes out a career high 10. Well, 7 hits, 3 of which left Alley P. Tonight he walked 2. Caught a couple wild pitches, hit a batter, and on to replace him, 6'5", 220-pound freshman from Austin, the Callum High School, Mason Bryant.
Well, Bryant making his 10th appearance of the season. See the record, the stats there, and fastball that's upper 80s, low 90s with a slider. Really likes to attack with that fastball and finish with that slider. So Bryant in relief of Bryce Elder, and Bart, I thought Elder did a pretty good job after really starting the game not real sharp, and he put it together those middle innings. 3rd, 4th, and 5th, he was untouchable. And Boone, of course, hit the home run in the 6th, and then the extra insurance run Cowboys have added on here in the 7th, but Elder got better as the game went.
This could easily have been a 1 2/3 innings outing instead of 6 2/3.
No doubt.
Got Simpson to pop up with 2 runs in, the bases loaded in the 2nd, and then sailed until the 2nd Boone homer leading off the 6th. Unearned run allowed here in the 7th.
The only problem for Bryce Elder tonight has been Elliot Jensen. The opposing pitcher has just been spot on.
McCusker grounded out twice and struck out against Elder. With the runner going, McCann not able to make a throw, and Navigado with the stolen base.
And Navigado had a really good jump. I don't even know if McCann makes the throw here. If he has a shot, it would have been had right on the bag for him to even get him. Well, he stole that off the pitcher, Bryant.
Only the third of the season for Andrew. Scoring position with 2 outs. 1-2.
That's strike 3. Yeah.
Navigado left in scoring position. 5-0 Cowboys. Ball 1 to Tate Shaw. One of 3 base runners allowed by Jensen Elliott. A walk in the 5th. Elliott has retired 8 straight, 12 of the last 13. 1 hit with 7 strikeouts. 2 walks. Sliding stop by Morrill.
What a play.
To deliver a strike to Elliott, covering to rob Tate Shaw.
What a play by Houston Morrill. And I think even more incredible was watch Alex Garcia, the first baseman, come across. Almost cuts Morrill's vision off there, going towards the ball. Makes the sliding catch and the perfect throw to Jensen Elliott. And that's exactly why you do PFPs in spring training.
Lance Ford looks at a strike. He has struck out and flied to left.
We were joking earlier, Barn, about the hit by McCann back in the 3rd inning, because you don't expect a team to get shut out the rest of the way in terms of base hits. Now it's not funny. Now we're like, ah!
Now it's looming there like a wart in the middle of a beautiful face.
Oh. I mean, Elliott has been a Picasso tonight. He really has. And to not get rewarded. Oh, that's like a kick in the gut.
Longhorns have only managed 3 balls out of the infield. And the outfield could almost have taken this night off. High chopper handled by Funk. It was with 2 outs in the 3rd. A 1-1 pitch to Michael McCann.
I mean, you've got the catcher running down the baseline. Now you tell me, if Navigado makes a clean pickup, does he not throw McCann out at first base? I think it's an easy call.
It's a catcher.
Yeah. It's a 3-hopper up the middle.
Navigado charging plenty of time.
Had to come up for the ball, but so what?
I think if you ask Navigado, he would say 100 times out of 100 he should have made that play. That's an error.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Well, I think they're going to have to escort the scorekeeper out if this holds 1 hit. Jensen Elliott, man, he has just been as sharp as he's ever been, especially this season. He threw some dandies as a freshman. All freshman Big 12 team, freshman All-American. Of course, out his sophomore year with Tommy John surgery. Now back healthy, and he has put it together tonight.
And pinch hitter Eric Kennedy pops the only pitch he sees to Navigado. 11 in a row set down by Elliott. Bottom of the 8th, 5-0 Oklahoma State. 7-5, a game and a half behind first place Baylor. Beginning this Easter weekend series. Big 12 teams play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Easter Sunday off. As do their fans, who are a bit chilly here. Tonight headed down to the mid-40s in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Mason Bryant came in to strike out Carson McCusker, looking. with Andrew Navigato in scoring position to end the 7th inning. See how he approaches Trevor Boone, who took Bryce Elder deep twice.
Well, Trevor Boone hit 3 home runs last Friday night against Kansas. Can he do it again tonight? The good breaking balls from Mason Bryant. That is a neutralizer.
5 strikes on his first 6 pitches.
Let's see if Bryant tries to change the eye level of Boone, run the fastball up.
Nobody covering first. Bryant scrambles over there, but not in time, and Boone reaches.
Yeah.
One out in the 2nd. Boone deep and out to right center. Leading off the 6th. Line 1 out to left.
A couple of big swings in the cowboy hat. Trevor Boone at first base with his 3rd hit of the game. The last play was not going to go down as an error, but Mason Bryant not getting over to first base in time. Looked like Lance Ford might have had a play, and he got into the bag at first base.
So ruled an infield hit, the 3rd hit of the night for Boone. Alex Garcia hit the first pitch he saw off a scoreboard in right field. That made it 3-0. After that, struck out and grounded out against Elder. Runner going, throw bounces in late.
Trevor Boone flashing the power and the speed.
5th stolen base of the year.
Might have been a hit and run, but Alex Garcia didn't swing. That ball was way outside. Can with a late throw. He has made some great defensive plays tonight. Garcia has, of course, the home run. Back-to-back followed Boone in the 2nd.
That one gets far enough behind McCann for Boone to take 3rd. With nobody out in the 8th.
I'm not sure if that'll go down as a wild pitch. That ball was pretty good distance outside. James Valade, the 3rd base coach for Cowboys, greeting Trevor Boone at 3rd. Yeah, even though it caught glove in the air, that's probably going to go down as a wild pitch. That would be number 50 on the season for that Longhorn staff.
And the 6th for Bryant. Barely snagged to keep Boone at 3rd base. Garcia gets the walk. Bryant's issue, not stuff. It is control in 8 innings in his first 9 outings. 13 strikeouts, 9 walks.
There's no doubt the stuff is there. It's to sharpen up the command. Good snag by McCann. That would have saved, it would have been the 2nd wild pitch in a row.
So now the freshman at 8 1/3, 14 strikeouts, 10 walks. Cabdas single twice, grounded to 2nd. Low at 92 miles an hour for ball 1.
McCann getting beat up a bit tonight behind the dish. Texas very thin at the catcher position. In fact, the only other catcher they have on the roster currently is Turner Gaunt. I think, Barber, he was added to the roster that night, April 2nd.
The evening of the Texas A&M game. Yeah, walk-on who redshirted last year from Houston. And Tuesday got into a game. Got a hit, scored a run against Lamar.
First at bat of his career, gets the base hit.
Big night for Turner Gant. This time last month was not even on the team. That one gets away and home. Trevor Boone to make it 6-0.
That'll be the 5th wild pitch of the game. Bryce Elder had a couple, and now Mason Bryant adding to that total.
Still nobody out. Garcia down at second with a run in. 3-0 pitch to Cabness. Wiskowski said a bit low. Back-to-back walks.
Well, you're at the spot of the game here. David Pierce is trying to make a decision, as the Longhorns have the pitcher up in the bullpen, but you're trying to save the rest of your staff for the weekend, unless Texas only has one more shot here. 3 outs left in the game, and you'd like Mason Bryant to finish this game out for you. 6-0 deficit.
Jack Neely gets up to throw.
Phil Haig out for the visit. You see the coach doing most of the talking. It's usually not a very pleasant conversation. You mentioned it earlier, Barnes. A young staff, great arms. This Longhorn staff is going to take some time for them to learn the command, especially in conference play. Try to control the adrenaline and the excitement pitching in a conference game, and the speed of the game.
Noah Seifert singled. Stole a base in the second. Since then has struck out and grounded out.
And Michael McCann having a tough time. Has not fielded one or learned the command, especially in conference play. Trying to control the adrenaline and the excitement pitching in a conference game, and the speed of the game.
Noah Seifert singled. Stole a base in the second. Since then has struck out and grounded out.
And Michael McCann having a tough time. Has not fielded one or caught one cleanly here.
He will sleep well tonight.
Yeah, he will. He's been beat up pretty good behind the dish.
He's been springing out of his haunches about every other pitch. Bryant came in throwing strikes. Now lost all contact with the strike zone. Seven straight have missed the zone. There's a strike as Seifert shows bunt.
A little smoother delivery there. It's like Bryant overthrows that fastball quite a bit. That's usually what happens with young pitchers. Get that mindset of having to throw hard instead of hitting spots.
Going bunt again, 3-1.
Of course, Noah Seifert will take what's given. Josh Holliday trying to give Texas the out. Just squaring to sacrifice, and Texas playing it straight up on defense.
And 3 straight walks to load the bases for the top of the order.
Well, it's really a toss-up on making the change here. You look at the young pitcher, Mason Bryant, work himself out of it. You go rescue him, and looks like David Pierce is going to make the change.
Jack Neely, another freshman on his way in. Be the third Longhorn pitcher of the night, trying to keep this 6-0 with bases loaded, nobody out in the 8th. Jack Neely will be the third Longhorn pitcher of the night. 6'9", 220, freshman from San Antonio Churchill High School.
That is a tall pitcher.
And he's got similar numbers to those of Mason Bryant. 8 2/3, 10 walks, 10 strikeouts, 8 hits, 11 earned runs.
Another one of those freshman arms that David Pierce just raves about in terms of potential. This kid is loaded with it. Low 90s fastball. Of course, you see it out of that 6'9" frame. A lot of arms and legs in control. It has been the challenge for him, just getting the ball over the plate. But when he does, good stuff. That low 90s fastball complemented by a slider and a changeup. She nailed it, Barn. It's just been command. It's Bryant and Neely to figure out the strike zone. No doubt the quality of the stuff is there.
Mason Bryant retired the first man he faced. Struck out Carson McCusker looking to end the 7th, and all 4 reached here in the 8th. Boone, an infield hit, stolen base, scored a wild pitch. Garcia, Cabas, and Seifert all walk. And here's Houston Morrill, who has struck out 3 times, hit by a pitch by the starter Bryce Elder in the 4th. And lofts that one to left. Eric Kennedy back, looking up off the top of the wall. Inches from a grand slam. Garcia, Cabas, both come home. Seifert around to third on a double.
Well, Houston Moore, you can't get much closer than that on a home run. Off the top of the left field fence. And notice the Cowboy runners had to hold up, thinking Kennedy might have had a chance to come down with that ball. And it's only a couple of RBI out of it, but that ball was hit high. And it looks like Kennedy misjudges it a bit. Had a chance to catch that ball. It sounded good off the bat. Morrill thought he had it.
Sounded like a grand slam. Looked to Morrill like a grand slam. Runners getting a late start from the bag. But 2 more came home, and it's 8-0.
Well, it was a really good job by the Cowboy base runners to hold up on that ball, because it did look like Kennedy had a shot at catching it. So Cabas, with his speed, scores from second base even as he was tagging. He made the second run off the bat of Morrill, and now the 8-0 lead.
Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. And another one gets past McCann, and another run will trot home. Seifert, 9-0.
Another fastball that gets away, and this time off the hand of Neely. Ball just runs away. McCann didn't have much of a chance, and you can make the case for a pass ball, but it could be the 6th wild pitch of the game.
6 tonight, 53 on the season. This freshman and sophomore dominated pitching staff. Funk walks for the 3rd time tonight.
Now with this game a bit out of hand here in the bottom of the 8th inning, looks like David Pierce is going to let Jack Neely figure it out. Somebody up in the bullpen for Texas. Of course, the Horns looking ahead to tomorrow's game and Saturday's game, and keep that bullpen as fresh as they can.
Colin Simpson, surprisingly, that had a whole lot to do with this. 0 for 4, reached on a fielder's choice, did score in the 7th inning on a single by Navigado. It was an unearned run that at the time made it 5-0.
And what a career the Tank has had here at Oklahoma State. 39 career homers. 135 career RBI. Barnett, he's just been a mainstay in this lineup since he arrived here on campus in Stillwater.
Neely, like Bryant before him, is not able to locate the strike zone. The one strike he threw was the near grand slam by Morrill. Lost Funk on 4 pitches.
Slow down.
Behind Simpson, 3-0.
You can hear from the dugout they're telling Jack Neely to slow down. It's real herky-jerky with the mechanics and really tough to repeat as a 6'9" with that 6'9" frame. And that time he did slow down, just missed on the inside, but you saw there was a little bit more smoothness with that delivery.
So back-to-back 4-pitch walks, bases loaded for Andrew Navigado.
The only strike Neely's thrown was hit off the wall by Houston Morrill. You're right, he's just got to dial it in here. As a pitcher, when you start to get into this kind of a funk, you got to remind yourself, just playing catch with that catcher's mitt.
Navigado swinging away after 8 straight had missed the strike zone.
Pretty good breaking ball there by Neely.
Oklahoma State able to make up ground on Baylor. Barnett on FS1. We will see the league-leading Bears. Game 2 of their series in Lubbock against Texas Tech. Teams picked 1-2 in the Big 12. Baylor has lived up to that. Texas Tech hampered by the schedule. They have not been at home, although now they're going to settle in tonight,
they will.
beginning a 10-game homestand.
Yeah, the schedule really gets flipped in Texas Tech's favor. Raiders finish up 3 of their next 4 series in the Big 12 at home. Baylor has 3 of 4 on the road. And the reason that the Bears have a game in hand against Oklahoma State in the standings is because last Sunday's game against Texas, which Texas jumped out to a 6-0 lead in 2 innings and ended up getting rained out at Baylor Ballpark in Waco. So they split the series a game apiece.
Navigado, the 8th batter of the inning, still nobody out. Bases loaded, 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed.
Well, Neely went right back to the breaking ball, and see the pitch. It's got good snap to it. Almost a 12-6 kind of break. Put a big bender in. Navigado able to hold up, swings all the way through.
It's the 12th strikeout by Texas pitching. Cowboys bat around. Here's McCusker. 0 for 4 in his return after missing 9 straight games with mono. Grounded out twice, struck out twice.
Yeah, 7 walks, and that man's going to need an ice bath. Michael McCann is taking a beating. Giving the borderline pitches to pitchers that have not shown an ability to hit targets. That one close, but low. 3-0. Morrill at third, Funk at second, Simpson at first. 5 walks already in this inning. There is one down the middle. And there again, pull up. Well, can he throw 3 in a row?
answer is no. Bases loaded walk to score Morrill. And give the Cowboys double digits.
Second Friday game in a row, the Cowboys have got to double digits in runs. There's the huge win last Friday against Kansas, 27-6, but Jayhawks came right back, flipped it around, won the next two games by a run apiece. Sure, Oklahoma State not thinking ahead to tomorrow just yet, but a reminder of what happened last week.
Well, how many times have we seen this? Pitch gets through McCann. Cowboy trots home. Christian Funk to make it 11-0.
At some point, you just look at Michael McCann and start to feel sorry for the guy. It's just like, wow, what else can you do to try to stop it?
Rip foul. Dayton Provost pinch running for McCusker down at second.
Boy, good pitch, just missed down.
Deep to left. Kennedy looks up. Gone.
Wow. He did it again.
Another trifecta.
He did it again.
His second three-homer game in a week.
How about that? Trevor Boone. Have yourself a week. 6 home runs. 2 consecutive Friday night Big 12 games. Trevor Boone, take a bow. Just take the hat. He just needs to keep that hat. That's a breaking ball. It goes down to one knee, Bart. How about that?
Beltre-like.
Reggie Jackson action.
The swing and the result, Adrian Beltre-like.
Man.
Kennedy gave up hope on that one early. So Trevor Boone extends his Big 12 lead now to 13 home runs.
That's incredible.
5 runs batted in tonight. His first 2 were solo shots. Up to 32 runs batted in for the year. And it is up to 14-0.
Well, I think the 2 touchdown lead's going to hold.
Max Hewitt to hit for Alex Garcia.
Even a Gary Kubiak coached offense would have a tough time overcoming this one.
This looks like a Gary Ward offense.
Oh,
where they're flying out of here.
Man. And this is reminiscent of the Cowboys of the 80s.
Still only 1 out. Hewitt is the 11th Cowboy to bat this inning. Navigato struck out. That's been it. 5 walks. Inning started with an infield single by Boone. Remember way back about a half hour ago?
I was going to say that was a while back.
Then 3 straight walks. Morrill missed a grand slam by inches, 7 for a 2-run double. Funk and Simpson walked. Then Navigato struck out. Cusker walked with the bases loaded. 3-run blast by Boone in a 9-run 8th. And Hewitt is out number 2.
Yeah, it's been just a bit of a disaster with the walks, the wild pitches, and then you get a couple pitches out over the plate, get belted out of the park, and just like that, 9 runs later.
Cadmus contributed a walk. 2 singles and grounded out.
Well, the issue for the Oklahoma State Cowboys has not been winning big games on Friday night with a lot of runs. It's been those Saturday and Sunday games, and See if it'll turn out differently for him this weekend against the Longhorns.
This went around 1-1. They throw Parker Scott tomorrow. Brett Stanley on Saturday.
Well, this has been a long wait for Jensen Elliott, Barnett. When you've got the game in hand, you're working pretty quick. And you've had a long 30-minute break in between the last time you've touched the rubber. To see how Jensen Elliott handles what has been an extremely long inning here.
When we're done here, we'll head to Los Angeles for MLB Whip Around. Kevin Burkhardt, Mark Sweeney, Frank Thomas standing by.
My old teammate Frank.
Better to have him as a teammate than an opponent.
Well, no doubt. No doubt. Had a chance to play with Frank on the '88 USA team.
Cabness works another walk, his second walk this inning.
The big hurt.
7th Cowboy walk. 3 by Bryant. And now 4 served up by Jack Neely. Seifert had one of the walks. Scored on one of the several wild pitches.
Well, Neely throwing his 36th pitch. And nobody else up in the Texas bullpen.
That is slapped in front of Eric Kennedy and gets past him all the way to the wall. Cabness scores all the way to third, and out at third is Seifert. But another run comes home, and we head to the ninth, 15-0 Cowboys. All right, thanks, Kevin. First ball hitting in the top of the ninth. A liner to left. And Jensen Elliott, at this point, still working on a one-hitter, although the official scorer had a chance to look between innings at that play. Ruled an infield hit by McCann in the third, implying that he may, in fact, decide to change his call. So that was Bryce Regan, who lined to left, and now the top of the order. And Peter Geib batting for Duke Ellis. Look at it again. McCann with 2 outs in the third.
Yep, just a 3 chopper up the middle. Again, you got a way that the catcher's running. Again, as Barnes, we said, if Navigado makes a clean play, it's an out. I don't think it's a complicated call.
There's a chopper toward the hole. Glove by Funk. Dug out at first.
Geib had fallen down, so nice play by Alex Garcia at first base.
Max Hewitt now at first.
Max Hewitt.
Now batting the shortstop, number 7, Nathan Hibbler.
Oh, nice pick. That's not an easy pick either.
Hewitt throwing to Funk, third to first. Two 2-0 to Hibbler. So if that scoring is changed, it apparently will be after we leave the air. At this point, this is a one-hit shutout.
Wow.
For Jensen Elliott. But there apparently is the possibility that it may be ex post facto ruled a no-hitter.
Well, you take all the excitement out of that one. And Barn, you said you never called a no-hitter. There it is.
And I guess I still have it at this point.
Oh.
Funk makes the dig. A 15-0 at this point. One-hit shutout by Jensen Elliott, who improves to 5-2. An Oklahoma State romp tonight in the card. Mark Swing.